Hello and welcome to McDonald Jones Stadium. Geez, that's a super start. G'day, it's Paul Arundel with you. And backing up for another stint is Morgan Campbell. This is the reserve grade grand final, South Newcastle versus the Western Suburbs, Rosellas. It's going to be a big one. How's it going?
It's going good, mate. It certainly is going to be a big one. These two teams, of course, plenty of rivalry all the way through the grades, as you'd expect, South and West. South came through that game in reserve grade a couple of weeks ago, that major semi-final, where they managed to win in extra time over the course of 90 minutes. But they've had a fortnight to back up from that. And the team that they knocked over that day got knocked out, of course, by West last week. West have had to do it the hard way. I think they were fairly low in the competition through the regular season, had to make their way through the finals and have done so very well. So this is going to be a big one.
Well, South Newcastle have just come out onto the field. I'll go through the program now. We hope it is what was in the program during the week. It's Josh Curry at fullback, Jacob Affleck on the wing with Logan Mitchell also on the wing. The centres are Drew Watkins and Mitchell Knowles. And the halves is Dan Harris and Jared Rodimer. The front rowers are Lucas Grace and Justin Affleck. The hooker is Connor Brown. In the second row, we've got Jack Welsh and Scott Matthews, and the lock is Will Davies. Looking on the bench, we've got Job Hull, Liam Kennedy, Dan Nelson, Noel Tupou, Jaden Rosenberg, and Marshall Singh. Still waiting for the Western Suburbs Rosellas to come out onto the field. And a reasonable crowd's in here so far, here at Hunter Stadium, McDonald Jones Stadium, whatever you like to call it.
Yeah, it's starting to build up. Of course, the West supporters should be in fairly early, having two sides in the grand finals today. So as often happens with them. I mentioned before, it's the first time that they've had a grand final here at Hunter Stadium. They haven't made the last couple, so a few experience for a few of these West supporters. But yeah, they're out in good numbers.
Yeah, it's good to see. I didn't realise there were so many Rosella jerseys down there. But Rosellas, they're going to come out of the far left tunnel, and instead of coming up through the main entrance. So just mixing it up a bit, I guess you could say. It's unusual for West to throw a cat amongst the pigeons. But out they come, led by the ball boys first of all. Led by the number 18, Mick Deacon. I'll run through their side quickly. It's Michael Hendry at fullback, Dan Stewart and Jordan Hammond on the wings, Clint Davis and Luke Pullman in the centres. The halves are Tim Holden and Jade Porter. The front row is David Dryden and Luke Single. Liam McKenna is at hooker. The second row, it's Matt Casserly and Mark Farah, and the lock is Luafea Fennell. On the bench, we've got Nick Mahon, Billy LaRue, Manu Matoka, Jack Geddes, Mick Deacon, Lachlan Buller, Josh Gorton, Nathan O'Brien, Ben Poole. Is there anyone I've left out, Morgan?
Not that I can tell, other than the referee, of course, or someone close to our heart up here at Bar TV, Tom Taylor. I did promise I'd spray him if he got something wrong here in the commentary this afternoon.
I promised I wasn't going to mention him on the commentary.
Oh, well, this could be very interesting. The touch judges, Brendan Callender and Jake White. And I should mention as well, if you're watching the coverage this afternoon and wondering why there are these people in pink hovering around in the in-goal, we've got in-goal touch judges in all grades today. Brandon Bidler and Will Kirby doing that job in this reserve grade grand final.
Yeah, it's a bit of a throwback, isn't it, to the 90s, having the in-goal touch.
That's right. A very long way back in the late 90s, 98, 99, I think. But, yeah, it's interesting that they've brought it in just for today. We hope that they've got kind of protocol in place so you know who overrules who and all that sort of thing. But we're just having a moment's silence, I think, here for a gentleman from the South Club, John Fleming, who passed away through the week under a brief illness. He was a life member of the Newcastle Rugby League and South Newcastle Junior Rugby League and South Newcastle Senior Rugby League and the South Lees Club, and was involved for more than 50 years.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, we're only minutes or moments away from the kickoff of the reserve grade grand final here in the Newcastle Rugby League. And interesting, West have come from fourth to get here today, and South, I believe, was second on the table. Lakes United with the minor premiers, they went out in straight sets. So Be interesting. West have been bridesmaid here 2 years in a row, I believe, here at Hunter Stadium in reserve grade. So hopefully they can go one better. Souths will have other ideas.
It's a funny competition, isn't it? That game, you did get the sense at Harker Oval a couple of weeks ago when that game went to extra time, that the winner, who was going to have 2 weeks off, would be cruising, and the loser, who had to back up off a 90-minute game, or a golden point game, I think, as it turned out, was going to have a really tough time. And of course, that's how it proved in the prelim last week at Townsend West. So really ran over the top of Lakes in that game, and fully deserved to be here today.
Tom Taylor blows time on. Jay Porter boots it down to the far right corner, and Souths are going to take it from right to left. Pretty famous red and white. Western Suburbs in the red and green. If you're tuning in from anywhere in the world, the Seychelles. There we go. Looks like Tupou taking it up.
Is there anyone tuning in from the Seychelles? Do we know?
I think so.
Is that right? There you go.
There you go.
Well, if wherever you're watching us, Morocco, Seychelles, Venezuela, it's good to have you along on Bar TV.
It's Davis taking up to the 30-metre line. And the crowd's building up nicely here as it's a half break. Porter coming over the top with a bit of help there from Dryden. So Connor Brown gets the first kick away. It's a shifty kick, but it goes down to Hendry. He has no problem. He'll bring this back just short, well, right on the 30-metre line. So it's always handy to get through your first set of 6. Get those few nerves out the road as Pullman takes it forward. So a good crowd brewing up here. 2 of the local teams, West and Souths. So another hit up there from Luke Single.
Yeah, seems like a pretty steady start from both teams, just trying to be neat and tidy, get a feel for the game. I think it's pretty warm out there. The top temperature predicted for 3 o'clock is 32 degrees, I think, so it's going to be hot and humid. And some of these reserve grade guys are going to need to pace themselves to make it through the game, I think, in decent condition. It could, if you've got fast men out there on the field, guys like Michael Hendry, they could really have an impact on the game late on in both halves.
It's the last tackle, and Porter goes to the sky. It's not a bad kick. Almost splits the fullback and the winger, but the fullback Curry is there to clean it up. Does well. Looks like it'll be Affleck at dummy half. Go for a bit of a scamper. Always good to get a touch on the ball early. And there we have the first penalty of the match. 2 minutes in, you could say, and Tom Taylor says that's for holding down. So Rodimer will kick for touch. And seems a hold up there in that Scott. It's very muggy, very humid.
Yes, indeed. It's a different. I mean, this is the strange thing about finals, I suppose, isn't it? That you play the whole season, especially in this competition where it doesn't start until sort of April, May. You play the whole competition in one type of weather conditions, and then play the really big games in a completely different type of conditions.
Yeah.
So this could be the first time that either of these sides have played in anything over about 20 degrees.
That was Grace. So we go to the back line. It was Davis to Rodimer. Gets through one. And he's eventually met there by McKenna. So a chance here for Souths early. So go to the short side. It's Matthews. So Jack Welsh. Bear with me getting those names right as we go through the game. 14, Joe Powell. He gets through a gap there and Hold backing up. So it's the last tackle. They go the short side through Brown. He's going to go himself. Is he sure? Is he held up? Wait for the referee to make a decision.
Looks like he's held up from the West players. They look very pleased with themselves there.
And the referee will just call it a turnover. So West survived that little attacking raid. So they'll bring it out now of their own territory. That's Hendry.
Should mention as well, Paul, that 35-minute halves in reserve grade, so not the standard 40, but not the 30 that we saw in the under-19, so it changes every game here. But yeah, just a 70-minute game this afternoon, and South had a bit of momentum there. That West did well to hold them out.
Yeah, you mentioned the 35 minutes. It's probably desired in this humid weather out there on the field, as Hammond goes for a scamper from dummy half, tries to link up with his winger Clint Davis, but he takes the tackle. Here we go again. This is the number 18. So that was Mick Deacon, and we've got another penalty, so it's 1-0 on the penalties.
Oh, this is typical Taylor, blowing the pee out of it in the first few minutes, eh? Sorry, Tom. Only joking.
Porter will fire and touch. Plenty of experience in the number 7 for Western Suburbs, Jay Porter.
Yeah, plenty of ex-first grade players on both sides, particularly in the halves. Jared Rodimer has played a lot of first grade for South, of course, and as you say, Jade Porter. So they won't have any trouble with steering, you wouldn't have thought, those two sides.
So Deacon will play it. McKenna goes to the short side. There's Mark Farron. So McKenna, he cuts out dryly, finds Holman, who's tackled well. It's a very good tackle by the number 14 in Joe Hull. They go to the short side again. Pullman, it was Henry. It's Henry that's made a break. He's got through one. He's going to score next to the uprights. Michael Henry scores the first try in the reserve grade grand final for Western Suburbs. Just cut back, maybe some dodgy defence there, but very good work from Michael Henry. He scores the first try.
Well, Michael Hendry, I mentioned a few moments ago that he'd be a factor late in the half, but a player of his quality, he's a factor at any time of the game. And you see here just that change of pace, a bit of speed off the mark, and then the big step. And he was setting sail for the try line from very early on there. That's a bit of speed and a bit of brilliance early in the game. They're the sort of things that win your grand finals.
Yeah, Michael Hendry can play anywhere in the back line. He's played a bit of centre, a bit of wing, but coming the back line there, just the step off the left, just left poor old Mitch Knowles for dead. And gives himself an easy chance of converting to make it 6. Perfect start for the Rosellas.
It's a bit of a hostile end for them to be attacking here. You might catch on our screens when we pan that way that there are maybe about 50 or 100 South Newcastle supporters all queued up in a bit of a group behind the post there. I don't know if they're giving any advice as they line up this kick.
I'm sure there'd be plenty.
I would have thought.
So Hendry makes no mistake with it. So it's 6-0 here after 7 minutes of play here in the reserve grade Newcastle Rugby League Grand Final here at Hunter Stadium. Good start for the Rosellas. Plenty of time left in this one.
Yeah, you're quite right. I mean, both sides have had an opportunity early. South had a go at the west line, couldn't break through. West had a go at the south line, broke through pretty easily. So on that basis, you'd have to think they're taking their chances better, and they've got the upper hand just at the minute.
Back underway, that'll go straight down McKenna's throat. Here's Big Dave Dryden. May get a few comments from him later on in the first grade game. He's been very handy during the year.
Been very handy for West Reserve Grade as well. I think shows the depth of the club that guys like him are playing Reserve Grade, because I think
he's Holman. Holman with a good dash down the side. He got through a couple, but he's eventually wrapped up just short of the 40-metre zone. Pullman will go to dummy half. Here we go, Luke Single. So a good set from the kickoff from West. So that's Deacon. Just takes it over halfway. So they play the ball. What seems to happen here is the winger Dan Stewart goes from dummy half. So manhandled to get to the ground there. I think Dan Stewart made that tackle on himself. Holman with the kick, stabs it down into the corner. It's not a bad kick, but I think it's going to go dead, and it does. So we'll go out to the 20. Not a bad set there from West, Morgan.
No, but ending with the 7 tackle set, it's you're quite right. I mean, they worked through the plays really nicely, made good ground, but just made a bit of a meal of that last play. So a chance for South to get some momentum going here.
It's Harris at dummy half. That's the number 3, Watkins. Was driven back. There's a very good defence from the Rosellas.
Ball for West to get some momentum here.
There's Porter in the tackle. As he goes Mitchell from dummy half. South supporters aren't happy with something there. So allowed to continue. Here's Matthews. And straight at Porter. He's going to have lots of work to do, Jay Porter, in defence and attack. He goes big number 10. Justin Affleck. There's 2 Afflecks out there. One's a winger, one's a front row.
Yeah, Ben and Casey, I think. Is that right?
Yeah, Justin and Jacob. But Ben and Casey will do. Yeah, straight down Hendry's throat. Takes that back to just on the 30-metre line. So Pullman gives it to Hammond. Jordan Hammond. Interesting story. Playing with the Cessnock Cutters when they won their B-grade grand final in 2014.
Is that right? Well, he's made his way through the grades, hasn't he? It's a fair way from NHRL B grade, the reserve grade, and the real NRL.
Yeah, certainly is. He's had a good season with Wes out the wing. So single to play it. McKenna finds Deacon. Just get over halfway here. So West have had plenty of ball. South have had to do plenty of defending, which is normally the way. Here's Hammond again. Gets through one, but Matthews is there to wrap him up. He gets the pass out. Porter's got to go back for it. He finds Davis, and Davis will be wrapped up. Last tackle now. So they'll go to the sky. Porter, no, he just stabs that down in the corner. That's going to be too deep again. Not too deep here. The grass is cut short, so any momentum the ball's going to have, it's just going to keep running.
It's odd, isn't it? I mean, they're really struggling to get their bearings out there as far as the in-goal line goes. I mean, you would think this would probably be the biggest in-goal they've played on all year. So, if anything, they'd be dropping them a bit short. But it's not quite how it's gone. They wouldn't want to make a habit of it because they're inviting South to just roll down the field.
That's the 17. It's Dan Nielsen on the field for the Lions. Yeah, looks like Liam Kennedy out there for the Lions as well. So a couple of changes being made early for Souths. There's Nielsen, another hit up in this set. Also a familiar name on Bar TV Sports throughout the year, Dan Nielsen.
Yeah, familiar name in first grade as well, of course, throughout the years with South.
Here's Rodimer now. Stabs it down. That's a nicely weighted kick there. And the winger down there, Stewart. He's going to have to clean it up. He's going to be pushed in goal. So it's a very good set from South Newcastle. Very well weighted kick from Rodimer. And we'll have a line drop out here for Western Suburbs. 6-0 after 12 minutes of play. And well, this is setting up to be a real arm wrestle.
Well, that's the sort of thing that can be the difference. I mean, West have been in that position a couple of times and found the dead ball line, and on that occasion it was really nicely weighted, and the way that it sat up, the chasers were down there, and Rodimer got right up in his face and forced them in goal, so a big opportunity.
So the Rosellas will take their time. Hendry just checking to see if there's air on the football.
What is he doing?
And it's not a bad kick, actually. It's wobbly, but it goes down to the sideline, and Watkins will field it and run at centre field and straight into McKenna and Luke Single there.
You wouldn't have thought after that much preparation you'd duff it to the right, would you?
Well, we'll see if we get the desired result. That's Kennedy out there, the number 16. Brown goes the short side, finds Matthews. Harris, run around with Brown, out to Rodimer. Finds the fullback in Josh Curry. He got around a couple, he's still going, Curry. And Dryden's trying to get him down, eventually gets him down. So Brown from dummy half, good cutout pass. So Kennedy's wrapped up. So it's the last tackle for the Lions. They go to the right side. Rodimer, cutout pass, and well, he's gone without it. But it's Hammond with the ball. Is he going to get there? I think he's going to be run down. It's a very good tackle from Jacob Affleck.
Well, they were going to score for all money there, South. They had him shot to pieces.
Certainly did now, and trying to milk a penalty, and he has got it.
Oh, 10.
He's got 10 on the bin as well. Big call in the grand final.
Well, professional foul, you see it so often. It's one of the only occasions where they'll give 10 minutes in the bin. When there's the long break upfield, the play kind of breaks up, and then somebody tries to slow it down. You do see that kind of thing quite a lot. And South really needed to know better there, but they should have been scoring up the other end of the field. The ball went to ground, and it was only a fairly heroic chase from Jacob Affleck. Good dragged the winger down.
It's a shame. He's come up with such a great tackle and just holds on a little bit too long. Wasn't square at marker too, I believe. Yep, that's what the call was.
Well, that's going to throw their backline into chaos, having the winger sin bin there. They're going to have to reorganise very quickly here, South. But they're going to have some time because that's a forward pass.
Yeah, well. So a let off there for South, so I'll just eat up a little bit of time while Affleck's in the sin bin. And so it's very, very muggy out there, so there'll be plenty of trainers out there as we speak. They're all out there now throwing the fluids around. Interesting, Neil Baker is the trainer for South Newcastle, former Western Suburbs Rosella captain coach on the opposition, so keep an eye out for him in the train. He's always out there. He's looking fit than ever. He probably could still play.
Day like this to take it off you, I'd reckon.
Yeah. Maybe I should be out there.
Well, I would reckon it's fairly warm out there now because when I got here this morning, the sun was still behind the clouds, and it was, you know, a little bit muggy but not too hot. But it's beating down pretty strongly now as South work it away.
A good run there from Brown. Ruddiman will go to dummy half. Here's Kennedy. It's Joe Poll, I beg your pardon. Should be easy to pick out. He's got the bike pants on. Brown will go the short side again. This is Knowles.
It's jammed there by Porter. Up and in.
Nelson. Inside to Hull. Second hit up of this set. Last tackle, says the referee Taylor. Goes back to Ruddiman. Puts it on the toe. It's not a bad kick across. It's into the sun for his wingman. He takes it well. I was going to say he took it well, but he didn't. Here's Holman with another break down the sideline. Great tackle there from Harris. Grass must be a bit longer out on that side. It seems like the Western Suburbs Rosellas can't get into full stride.
Yeah, they're slowing up a little. They're slowing up a little bit, aren't they? Again, off the kick though, it's a bit of a dangerous play. Like West there, that kick was a bit shallow as the ball goes to ground.
I think Castle, he made a mistake in the same part of the field about 2 minutes ago. So not a good start for Matt Castle.
Yeah, the pass was a bit behind him there. Just the timing a little bit out for between the dummy half and the man running onto the ball. But that was a really curious kick from Ruddiman up there. I mean, from about the 30, kind of hooked across field over to the 20. I'm not quite sure what the plan is over there, and it nearly ended up very nastily.
Yeah, well, it's if anything, it went into the direction of the sun for his winger, who found it hard to take the catch. But anyway, it's all fish and chip paper, as you say. And we'll have a scrum fee for Souths, 25. That was Knowles making up. Here we go with Hull. Runs into Mahon, pops the pass to Ruddiman. He finds Nilsson. Nilsson's wrapped up by Davies. So Ruddiman will go the short side to Matthews. A tackle around the legs from Deacon. Porter over the top. Ruddiman. Here's Hull. Comes on the field, gets through a lot of work every week, Joe Hull. There's Ruddiman again. This is Harris. Good tackle there, had to be made. Brown, Ruddiman again, stabs this down into the corner. I think that's going to fall, touch, no, it's going to pull up. Hammond, oh gee. Hammond slipped over as he went to take that then, so he did very well in the end.
They're just spinning their wheels a little bit in the forwards here, South. A lot of side-to-side passing, kind of two out and that sort of thing. They're allowing, by the way that they're kind of moving the ball along the line, they're allowing West to get up in their face and cut them off. I think they would benefit from just being a little bit more direct, like we're seeing these sort of runs from the West forwards, snapping it out of dummy half and sending the front rowers at them.
So McKenna, Porter, short pass to Deacon, and straight in the hole. Matthews in there to help out with Ruddiman. Last tackle now for the Rosellas. Porter stabs it down, so that seems to be the order of the day. Just a few stabbing kicks there for the touchline because, as I said, it's very humid out there, and Porter does that.
Well, I think there'd be a few forwards calling to both halves just to get them a spell. They don't seem to be rushing to the scrum when there's plenty of hands on heads, so that's probably not a bad tactic. I'd say both teams happy to call a bit of a ceasefire for a minute or two and have a bit of a break.
So just under 17 minutes to go in the first half of this reserve grade grand final between West and Suburbs and the South Newcastle Lions. Fair crowd here early to see the reserve grade fixture. Here's Harris, there by Deacon. Hendry over the top. Job Hull again, getting busy out there. Met by Mahon. And tackle Will Davis in there helping as well. Sorry, Fanua. Those ones mixed up.
Oh, the mousetrap.
Yes.
Hello.
Well, I've seen that a couple of weeks from the Newcastle reserve grade. It's always about this minute mark that it happens. So
I mean, if Matt Harris is watching this coverage, this is the sort of thing they need to be advertising. If people know there's going to be a mousetrap on grand final day, you're going to have 5,000 more people through the gate.
Here's Brown again, scamper from dummy half. Last tackle. Ooh, so they knock on? No, says the referee, as Ruddiman just chips that down to Hendry. He's there to clean it up. And he's met by Watkins.
Very slow to get back here, some of those West players. You can see a few of the forwards, even the ones who have come off the bench, making their way back slowly, but here they go on that wing.
Space again here is Holman down there. He's got one to beat. He's going to get past Imuzi. Holman all the way here. Here comes the fullback and Curry across, but Holman's going to get there. Western Suburbs' second try of the grand final, Tim Holman. And he's absolutely stuffed after that.
I reckon he would be. Fantastic try, the early spread there. I said they were having trouble getting them back. Well, they ended up saying, forget about the forwards, let's use the backs. Well, took a direct route, and you're right, Tim Holman there. He found the fast lane at last over on the left-hand side of the field and absolutely burnt them.
Well, we get the replay up here, and Souths were really bunched in defence here, and West had numbers out wide. And it was just a matter of getting the ball out there, and Tim Holman, he can score a runaway try. And poor old Liam Kennedy there in pursuit. He did well, really.
Yeah, I mean, it was an erstwhile chase there from Josh Curry. Did his best, but just didn't quite have the pace to match Tim Holman there. And, well, I would have thought after those couple of scares that South would be defending a little bit wider and not compressing their line, but I think they've learnt their lesson well and truly now.
Just saw in the replay there, I think it was Brendan Vidler, the in-goal touch judge. He nearly got taken out by that banner, looking to watch the grounding.
Oh, the teardrop banner.
Yeah.
Well, wouldn't it be a great irony if the banner advertising the security company knocked over the touch judge?
Brilliant. We always want to see a touchy or referee fall over. So hopefully next time. It's Hendry. A bit further out this time. Maybe to make it 12. Not much of a breeze here at Hunter Stadium. It's one of these kicks where it's in between. They are the difficult ones because they're probably the ones you don't practice the most. Strikes it well, but not good enough.
Good shout, Paul. Not enough practice from 10 to the left of the post. Quite right.
Well, you know you're a TV commentator when you jinx the goal kicker. So
it's always the way.
So it remains 10-0, Western Suburbs in front of Souths. And,
seems a pretty fair reflection, doesn't it? I mean, West have just looked sharper. They've looked better in the forwards and sharper in the backs. So you put that combination together, you've got to have them favourites.
Yeah, certainly on that far side of the field, they've already found some space. As we get back underway, goes down to McKenna. And this looks like for now on the field. And it gets through the tackle there of Affleck. So for now, that's a very good run over the 20. It's what you want from your restarts to get over that 20-metre zone. McKenna from dummy half. Looks like Matoko out there. Hard to see. The number 8 all over him. Good dash from dummy half. That's Stewart. So making very good metres here, the Rosellas on this set. Go to the short side again. And that's Castley. So well in South's territory now. Here's Mahon. Good run forward there from the big front rower coming off the bench. Last tackle for the Rosellas. Another opportunity. McKenna running across field. He links up with Porter. Porter inside pass to Hendry. He's through. It's called 6 to go too from the referee.
Yeah, I think it was touched on the way through.
Davis tries to get up and pinch a few more metres, but he's been wrapped up. Massive chance for the Rosellas now. Porter again with the ball. Mahon will just take it forward. He won't even think about passing. 2 metres short from the try line. McKenna goes to the left side. Porter has to reach for it. He runs to the line. Porter's over. Jade Porter gets Western Suburbs' third try of the grand final. And that was all really too easy.
It certainly was. But Jade Porter is just too good a player to be playing in reserve grade. He's been at this very, very high level. He's played in grand finals for West St Maitland. He's been at the top level for a lot of years. But coming back at this in reserve, and we saw this as well last week, where he gets it at first receiver. He just knows when to run, knows when to do what needs to be done. And I think he had plenty of options there. He could have run it himself. He could have fed it out wide. I think they were going to score either way because South were terribly short out there. And as it is, they're out to a 14-0 lead and skipping away.
Just giving it to the South Newcastle supporters behind the end goal. Yeah, how would you like Jake Porter running out here? Just, you don't know which way he's going to go. He can step off both feet.
You see as well that set play that they worked to get Michael Hendry away from just short of halfway. It was just beautifully worked. The timing was right. Porter stepped inside, found Hendry, who was running at the right time. good coaching with classy players. You know, it makes a big difference at any level.
Speaking of coaching, Jake Porter's a coach himself. Coaches one of the Cardiff Cougars teams. He'll have a shot at goal now. So Hendry's missed one. He's got 50%, and he's been given the flick already.
Oh, right, kicker booting. Oh, I love that when that happens. I mean, no disrespect to Michael Hendry, but it is always funny when the kicker gets the sack.
Jake Porter makes no mistake. And it's now 16-0 to the Western Suburbs. Rosellas over South Newcastle here in the Newcastle Rugby League Reserve Grade Grand Final. Here on Bar TV. Hope you're enjoying the coverage wherever you are in the world. Maybe you're just down the road.
If you're just down the road, get yourself to the game.
Might be a bit cooler at the pub.
Yeah, that's true. Just having a look through the grandstand here, it's going to be a really good atmosphere this afternoon because unlike previous years, pretty much everyone is in this lower half of the Western. There's no top open today because we haven't had any rain. So everyone's going to be packed in tight and making plenty of racket.
Yeah, looking forward to the first grade, but right now it's LaRue taking it forward for Wests. Here's Mahon. So West with all the momentum at the moment. McKenna goes short side again. Casserly almost got through the line. So Mahon again with another hit up in this set. Doing his job out there for the Rosellas. Last tackle. So it goes back to Holman. He'll put this high down to the winger of Affleck, who is back out in the field after a little spell. He's going to be met by the welcoming committee of Castling and LaRue.
It's been such a costly last 10 minutes with him off the field, hasn't it? Dear, oh dear. I mean, 2 tries down that short side that kept down that left-hand side of the West attack, the right-hand side of the South defence. It's the sort of thing so early in a game.
Absolutely. So Souths with a mountain to climb, you could say, in a grand final. Just over 8 minutes to half time. They'd love to get one back before the break as Rodimer inside pass to Watkins. Not a bad one, but West were there in numbers again. And we've got a penalty.
A bit early for that, gents.
So that's what they needed, South, was a penalty just to get out of their territory. 45 to go. So we go. This is the number 18. It's got Tupou, but I don't think it's Noel Tupou in the number 18. So we'll try and source that out at half time. It's Grace. It's Harris. The way there. Looks like Kennedy's been wrapped up with the football there. It's hard to see this far side of the ground. So here we go again. That's the 19 on Jaden Rosberg.
They need this, don't they? I mean, they need a bit of encouragement.
Yeah, a bit of momentum here as now for another scamp. That probably wasn't the right move now. They've got the numbers out here to the left. Which way will they go? Harris, Rodimer. He's got space here. Cuts back inside, flicks it back. We've got Harris with the ball again. It's a long pass. And, well, didn't really have to go for that, West, really. They could have just...
I'll tell you what, if he did, he was under the post. If he managed to hold it, that pass was very dangerous, throwing it without looking. And, well, it was nearly on for young and old there. Drew Watkins, Clint Davies, nearly picked it up and streaked away.
So Souths with another set of 6 here. They'll want to come up with something here. Or at least another set of 6.
Yeah.
Great opportunity now for the Lions. It's Harris, cuts out Curry. That's Knowles with the ball, just runs straight into the Rosellas defence. Cleaning up easily in the end. Here's Matthews. Back on the field after a bit of a break. Rosberg at dummy half. Going across field, links up with Rodimer. Rodimer back inside to, who's that with the ball? It's Watkins. Just lost the train of thought there for a moment.
Yeah, into traffic there.
Oh, it's a flat pass. Matthews is over, but referee's going to say it went forward. So wasn't a bad idea. Just an inch or two forward.
Well, they seem to have just lost the plot of their attack here a little bit. I mean, this set, I don't really get an idea of what the plan was. I mean, they went all the way out the back and then turned it inside. And poor old Drew Watkins caught the ball, looked up, and there were 6 West players all gathered around him. And then the flat pass there, which was far too low and behind them.
Now, referee Tom Taylor calls time off as a man in the background injured. Looks like Luke Pullman, just having a bit of a break. As the trainers come out and referee blows time on. As Hammond will run across field, made about 30 centimetres. Well, looks like the Rosellas tried a mouse trap there, but it wasn't very well executed.
I think it was an involuntary mouse trap. I think the first dummy half got shafted out the way.
Here's for now. Bustling through some tackles there. In the end, it took about 4 Lions to take him down. So this is LaRue. So it's all Western Suburbs at the moment. As Stewart goes for a scamper from dummy half. Driven back. Last tackle for the Rosellas now.
Oh, look out. It's not very pleased at all there, Dan Stewart.
Here's Porter stabbing that down over the head of Affleck. It's going to find touch. That's a 40-20. Beautiful kick from Jay Porter. Just catching Affleck off guard. And, well, Western Suburbs, another opportunity just before half-time to post more points.
Well, South need to get back on side for a start, but West can really sink the slipper into them here. 16-0, and with a great chance to set up their attack. Jade Porter, we talked about it before, doing the right things at the right times. And, well, a 40-20 is a good idea at any time.
Here's Dryden. 5 metres out from the Lions line. It's Josh Gorton at dummy half, and we've got another penalty. I'm not sure what that's called. That's locking arms or something, I don't know. So
yeah, just a bit too much in the play of the ball. Oh, I don't think they're going to go to 2 here, I think.
Okay.
Wow, gee. I got to tell you, Paul, I question that a little bit. I mean, they've had South absolutely on the rack here, and if they'd have gone out to 20 or 22-0, it's almost game over, Red Rover.
Yeah, it certainly is. I mean, it is hot out there, so I can understand the guys just wanting a bit more of a breather. As you can see, Tim Holman in the background, he's screaming for the water, and as Dryden just takes it all.
Well, this is the thing. I mean, it's just what I reckon. If South, once that penalty was blown up, I think they would have been very pleased.
Yes.
To see West taking the 2. I think they'd have been happy for the spell.
So Porter almost in front to move this out to 3 converted tries. Good crowds in attendance so far. Hopefully a few more will turn up. All the Macquarie supporters, I'll probably turn up half an hour before kickoff.
Yeah, there's a bit of a group of them down there near the tunnel where they're going to congregate. But yeah, not as many as I would have expected. So you're quite right.
Porter puts that between the sticks, and it's 18-0 to Western Suburbs over South Newcastle there in the reserve grade Newcastle Rugby League Grand Final. Here on Bar TV Sports, wherever you are in the world, you can tune in. And, hope you're enjoying the coverage.
Well, if you're watching in Seychelles or Mogadishu or wherever it might be, and you're a Western Suburbs supporter, I'd say you would be enjoying the coverage because they've had all of this in this first half.
You say that, Western Suburbs have a big membership numbers in Mogadishu.
Is that right? That doesn't surprise me at all. Yeah. I'm sure there's a lot of proxy votes lodged at their AGMs.
Back underway, and that's number 20. That's Josh Gorton out there. So we're just in the final minutes of half time here. As Poole tries to get outside Knowles, but he's wrapped up very well. Play the ball. I'll probably just hope to get through this set of 6 and find touch. Gorton at dummy half. This is LaRue running across field. Gets through the line. It's a very good run from Billy LaRue. I hope I'm pronouncing his name right. Holman stabs this down in the corner, looking to find touch. It's going to pull up for Josh Curry. Run this back into a Western Suburbs line. They're keen. There's 6 men down there to meet him. So this is Affleck off his wing. Oh, almost picked up there from Fanau. The number 11 was there in that nick of time. This is Davies. The 30-metre line. Harris. Short pass to Matthews. Gets through the tackle of Pillman. Matthews has got one on the outside. Gives that to Knowles. Has Knowles got the pace? He's away from Pillman. Steps inside Hendry. Hendry just clipped him, and Pillman come again with the help of Jay Porter. So this could be the last tackle.
Numbers to the left. There's nobody right on the post.
Steps inside. Throws the pass to Fanau. And Tom Taylor's going to say you're offside.
Well, he should go to the bin, really. I mean, goodness me. Louis Fanau, he knows very well. That's a professional foul every day of the week. I mean, he knows very well that if the ball gets any further than the right upright, Souths are going to score for all money. I mean, that's a professional foul. If he's offside and takes that ball, that's a professional foul.
Well, we're back on here as Harris throws the big dummy. And that'll be half-time. The referee blows his whistle now. That's half-time. So Western Suburbs, Rosellas, 18 lead South Newcastle Lions 10-0. 10, winning at 10. It's 18-0 here. Western Suburbs over South Newcastle here in the reserve grade Newcastle Rugby League Grand Final here on Bar TV. We'll be back with the second half after these messages.
We're going to go skydiving. Whose idea was this?
I think I might as well skydive over my hometown, check it out. So much fun. What was that? It was brilliant. Awesome.
So good. It was so good.
Oh, it was. We're doing this again.
Channel is amazing. Beaches, my house.
Do it. You can't live your life without doing this at least once. There's just nothing you can compare it to. You know, it seems that it's a real moment that you see people do all the time, and it's just like, no, I'm doing this.
Power to the guy discovering he can enjoy a no-lock-in contract at Vodafone and pay for his phone over 12, 24 or 36 months interest-free. And to the girl who's broken free from her old telco because she was tired of being locked in. Power to the people who deserve more freedom from their telco. Choose the plan you need, the phone you want, and pay it off your way. Plus, if you don't love us, you can leave your plan and keep your phone. Just pay what's left. Vodafone. Power to you.
Welcome back to Hunter Stadium, the Newcastle Rugby League Reserve Grade Grand Final. At the moment, it's Western Suburbs 18-0 in front of Souths, who are out the field. Tries to Michael Hendry, Tim Holman, and Jade Porter. So Michael Hendry got a goal. Jade Porter has 2 goals. So South Newcastle, can see them out there on the paddy. Supporters up that southern end. Field end of the Hunter Stadium. So the Red and Whites, they've got it all to do. 35 minutes. So the referees are coming back out onto the field, as to is Western Suburbs Rosellas, led by Jade Porter. Humid conditions here in Newcastle here for this this clash. Well, it'll be humid all day, you'd expect. It doesn't look like there's a chance of rain. There's a bit of cloud cover over the ground, but very sticky conditions out there on the centre of the field for the players. So Josh Curry there on your screen. Neil Baker, former Western Suburbs Rosella player in the yellow shirt, the trainer. Josh Curry's about to get us underway here for the second half. South Newcastle running left to right, West in their green, and right to left. As we're underway, and that ball goes straight down the throat of Michael Hendry, and it's Fanal that takes it back. 15 out from his own line. Souths are claiming that the ball was lost, but the referee doesn't want to bar it. This is LaRue. Driven back from Brown there in the tackle. So go to the short side. This looks like Geddes. So South moving up quickly so far in this set of 6. Gorton at dummy half to Holman to Porter. Porter's met heavily there by the Justin Affleck, the front rower, and Dean Nilsson in there to help out. Here's Dryden. Good carry there. Met there by Matthews. Last tackle, so good set and defence here for the Lions as they run it through Holman. Holman gets through a bit of space there, but a very good tackle from Harris, and that's a handover. So it's a perfect start for the Lions here, trailing 18 points to 0. And well, Brown almost missed that play of the ball as Affleck takes that just within 28. So Brown goes for a scamper from dummy half. He almost caught Holman napping, but he was there with the help of Geddes. We've got another penalty here, calling for a leg pull here on Tim Holman. So it's a perfect start here for Souths. Can they come up with some points? Harris. This is Welsh. Tries to centre it. 8 metres out now from the Rosellas try line. Harris is at dummy half. They go the left side. Out the back to Rodemar. Rodemar's got a bit of space, but it closes quickly. So Jaden Rosberg at dummy half. Here we go again. This is Nielsen. Flips it out the back. He almost lost it. Luckily Brown was there to pick it up. And the referee looks like he's calling 6 again. So there's a hand in there from the Rosellas. That's a wobbly pass out the back. Welsh is there to collect it. Pullman went a bit higher there in the tackle, but the referee says it's fine. Curry at dummy half. Harris dancing around. Links up here with Knowles. Knowles is trying. He's dancing around. He's got some. Oh, he's over. Well, I don't know what happened then. The Rosellas just held off him, and we're going to try to Mitch Knowles. So the perfect start in the second half for the Lions here as Mitch Knowles gets their first try, and it's now 18-4 with a kick to come. They just sort of held off him there, the Rosellas in defence there. So Knowles, he did very well to get through there and score a good try. And here it is on the replay. So they were going through, and they just seemed to lose their way here. That doesn't really matter. They got the 4 points. And Knowles, how many has he beaten here? He dances around. Through a couple of tackles, an ankle tap attempt, and LaRue just got in the way, and it's in the end, Dryden's missed him, and great effort, good try. So Souths are back in it, just what the doctor ordered. Mitch Knowles. There he is, the try scorer on your screen. So an important kick here as well coming up for the Lions. Just to the right of the uprights. Connor Brown. 20 in for touch. As you see that crowd in the background slowly building up. And he strikes it well, straight between the sticks, and it's now 18 points to 6. Margin 12 points. Great start for South in this second half. As the Rosellas now are just walking it back onto the field. So, I think we've got a ball game here. We're back underway with Porter. And down, that looks like 14 and Harris. And this is Justin Affleck. Now he's trying to pinch the ball, so then he got some numbers there to help him out in defence and decided otherwise. So Harris goes to the short side. This is Welsh. So it'll be Jacob Affleck going for a scamper from dummy half. A couple of good cheeky meters there. That's Brown. This is the number 19, Jaden Rosberg. He played with Maitland last year. It was the two Jaden Rosbergs.
Yeah, played a bit of first grade as well. Always looks a good player out on the edge.
Good pass there from Nelson, but Rodham was wrapped up by Porter. Here we go. Harris puts this one high. It's a big tester for Hendry. Takes it easily in the end. He'll run back, and he's wrapped up there by Jack Welsh. So it's a very good start from the South Newcastle side. As Hendry's a bit injured here, and he's going to stay down on the turf as the referee calls time off. Well, not sure what happened there. I think he may have just fallen into the tackle of Jack Welsh.
Certainly does look a bit sore, doesn't it? Let's have a look. Yeah. He's gone in head first, which is never a great idea, but maybe just the way that he was dug into the turf there, he might have just caught something.
Yeah, he just caught the stiff arm of Dan Nelson in that tackle. That's what he caught. So,
well, that'd be enough for anyone.
Yeah. So, time off. He's still just trying to come to his senses here. So, both teams will not mind this at all, having another rest. So it's very warm out there as the sun's shining down here in Hunter Stadium. So just under half an hour's play left in this grand final. Can the Lions come back, or will West take the chocolates?
I got to tell you, I think the weathermen might have been overselling it somewhat, to be perfectly honest with you, because I just went down to ground level and had a bit of a wander around, and I must say, I mean, it's warm, but it's not baking hot. I wouldn't say it's anywhere near 30.
Would it be the first time the weatherman's got it wrong?
No, absolutely right.
There's McKenna. Looks like it's LaRue with the ball. And a couple of good carries in that first half, LaRue. Here we go again. This is Dryden. Good run from Dave Dryden. Try not to be biased here in the commentary box. McKenna gets away. Little chip over the top. It's going to be cleaned up again. He gets the toe to it again. There's a chance here. Oh, it's picked up by Single. He's done very well. Throws it to Porter, and we've got a try. Well, great try from the Western Suburbs Rosellas. Started from Liam McKenna. And then Luke Single, the big front rower, he got there. Offloads it to Porter, and we have another try to West. So they're back into it, and they extend that lead to 22-6 with the kick to come.
Well, just when South might have thought they were getting their way back into it, I mean, really, a bit of fortune and a bit of brilliance there. I mean, the little chip and chase wasn't really on, but then they get the bounce come back their way, and he was very clever there to get the toe on it. As we see on the replay, I mean, you'd think they've got it covered from there, but a bit of lazy chasing, the boot through, and they did incredibly well. The big front rower there, Single, finding Porter with the pass, and that's a tremendous try with a bit of luck and a bit of skill. All that you need in a big game like this.
Well, Jay Porter, he's having a field day out there for the Rosellas. Gets his second of the afternoon. Now he'll line this kick up. So very good work from Single to be up there. I mentioned there was 3 South players around that ball then, and McKenna got the chip, got the boot to the ball. Single was there, and then Porter did the rest. So a very good Rosellas try. Porter will just beat up a little bit more time here. Difficult kick. You'll be looking straight into the sun here, you'd assume. As the sun sets in the east. He strikes that nicely and makes no mistake. So Western Suburbs, Rosellas are 24, South Newcastle 6 here in the reserve grade Newcastle Rugby League Grand Final, brought to you by Bar TV.
Notice Jade Porter there, not satisfied at 24-6 with 2 tries. Turning around and still trying to whip up his men there. Flapping his arms about, saying, come on, we need a bit more. There's still 25 minutes left here. But there's a bit of professionalism. They still want to go on with it.
That's right. Here we go again. Oh, geez, that wasn't a bad kick right next to the post. Seen plenty of restart bungles over the season. It's probably one of my favourite parts of rugby league is seeing the fumble from the restart. Here we go. This is Deacon. Hit heavily there by a couple of Lions. Just finding it hard to get to his feet there is Deacon. Trying to milk the penalty. Here's Dryden. Good carry that led to that last try. They got a bit of momentum. Kenner again. This is the number 12 in Farah. Something's just exploded in the commentary box. So we're back on the way. Here's Farah again. Oh no, it's Single. So right on halfway. It's the last tackle for the Rosellas. He's back to Porter. Nice little kick. Oh, well, just a little bit too much. It looked right off the boot, but it was the commentator's curse again. And Souths with another opportunity here.
It just looked a bit awkward as he was putting that kick in, but of course, great irony there at Jade Porter telling all his players, don't clock off and start making mistakes. And it's him who ends up roosting the ball almost into the grandstand. So a little bit of a chance here for South.
I think that's Tupu with the ball. We've got Lucas Grace and Noel Tupu, the numbers back to front. So
I think they do that just to upset commentators, to be honest, Paul.
Yes. That was Welsh with the ball. So that was Knowles at dummy half. This is the 15 here. Liam Kennedy, he had some good runs in the first half. He's just come on the field. And another player's just come on the field. He should be easy to identify. It's number 20, Marshall Singh. He's got the headgear on. The only player with headgear here in the reserve grade grand final. Brown goes to short side. He finds Singh. I'm hoping he could dance more than sing. Get through the try line for South. Here's Rodimer. Nice little grubber kick there, but Hendry's there to clean it up. And then Rodimer makes the tackle with the help of Brown. This is Davis. We go the short side here. This is Matoka. Lanu Matoka on the field. That's a good run there from the number 12, Mark Farah. So here's Hammond. Break, and he's made another break. Jordan Hammond, he's gone straight through the line. He's got one to beat. Tries to get around Curry, he does, but Curry just got enough on him to bring him to ground. Quick play the ball. McKenna, he's got space to move. It's the last. And a pass. Pass straight into the hands of Jack Welsh. Almost a carbon copy of the first half. It went the other way, and now the Lions get a penalty.
Well, that was soft defence up the middle. It's not a great sign for South that Hammond was able to break away so easily, but they managed to get away with it.
So Souths get out of trouble there, just as West were looking dangerous. So the tap is taken, and that's Watkins. 40 out from the Rosellas line. Here's Matthews. Shapes the pass, but runs into a Western Suburbs brick wall.
They need to find something incisive here. They need to find something a little bit different with their attack.
There's Kennedy. This is Singh. What can Singh do? Almost gets through the line. Good tackle there from Pullman. Go the short side again with Welsh. He runs to the line, bumps away from a tackle there from Deacon, then pops it out the back. That's Curry with the ball. He tries to wrestle his way past, but he can't. Very good tackle from Geddes. On the 10-metre line now, Souths. Looking for their second try of the match, and we've got a penalty. Luke Pullman holding down for too long. They tried to take a quick tap, and now Luke Pullman's gone to the bin.
Well, now then, that is a big decision in the course of this game. I actually think that, they should have had somebody sin binned in the first half, Western Suburbs, and got away with it. But they don't get away with it this time, and it just leaves the door a little bit ajar here for something for South.
Certainly does, and we've got Liam Kennedy down for the Rosellas as well, as Luke Pullman's taking his time to get off the field. But we've got a break in play while Kennedy's down. But Curry went for the quick tap. Just a cheeky ankle tap from Pullman. And that was enough to say, go and have a 10-minute break, mate.
Well, it's pretty much got to be, doesn't it? I mean, that's the rule now. And this is what they need to do, though. We were just saying they need something a little bit different in attack, a bit of spark. And getting it out wide, little offload, that sort of thing. Just got them going backwards. Created some momentum. This is a huge chance now. 24-12 and they're still alive. So
Hull will play the ball. Brown will go from dummy half. And West were awake to it. Big gap opened up there for a moment there. It's Hull at dummy half. It's Rodimer. Quick pass out to Knowles. And Knowles is dancing around. Well, this is what he did to score his first try. But Rosella's there in numbers this time to wrap him up.
Numbers out wide. The wingers all the way on the touchline.
On the short side again. And Hammond went for the intercept. So we're going to have a scrum. And it's going to be another set of 6 to Souths.
Paul,
yeah.
Paul, I'm not a mathematician. That's not my field. But they had about 6 on 2 out there. I mean, the winger for South on their left-hand side, on the John Stand side of the field, had chalk on his boots. He was right on the touchline. And the furthest West defender was at least 20 metres in. They've got to go wide. They've got to get it over to that side. Use the extra man.
Well, they may do that now, Morgan. That's Curry. No, he decides to take a settler. And with 20 minutes on the clock, I don't know if just taking one out is the go. Here they go now. This is Hull. And 3 metres of the line. Can they set up for something here, the Lions?
Same story on the right.
And Brown, he didn't get a very good play the ball there. Here we go. That's just gone to nobody except the Rosellas. And he's away. It's Luke Single again. Look at him go. And Curry makes the tackle. And I'll tell you what, Curry's come off a bit second best, knocking the big front rower down.
Well, I'm at a complete loss as to how you can have 13 on 12. It's 2 or 3 man overlap on the right-hand side of the field and end up with the opposition's prop forward running 40 metres. That's unbelievable.
As Curry just makes his way back to the line. Here's Mahon. Looks for the offload, driven back. Very good tackle there from the Lions. So McKenna looks all right now. He's back on his feet. This is Holman. Short pass to Castley. So this is Deacon. Up to the 30 line. Just under 20 to go. Porter's come to the closest side of the field. He's got the ball now and just stabs that down into the corner. That's going to find touch. About 5 metres out from the Lions line, so very smart play from the halfback, just giving his forwards a rest.
Yep, that's all you've got to do. 20, now 19 minutes to go. 18 points in front. Just roll it into touch, get another, make them ruck it out from their own end. It's a shrewd play there from Jade Porter.
So as the time ticks down, it starts to get more difficult for the Lions.
I just think I mean, that was their opportunity, wasn't it? They had the extra man. They had them set up wide to go for the set play. The halfback was screaming for the ball, and they went flat to the man to the front row and duffed the pass. That's the sort of thing. I mean, if you're getting those sort of things wrong in your grand final, it makes it very hard for you to end up taking the trophy home.
Well, they've just made another blunder. It's Mitchell trying to get up for a quick play of the ball, and he's just spilt the lollies. So it's not going to plan for the Lions here today. Let me see again here on the replay. So the scrum will pack 30 metres out from the Lions line. As we see, so the crowd is slowly building up. Tom Taylor just having a chat to Liam McKenna. We'll talk about where they're going for drinks after the game. Maybe not. This is Matoka, I beg your pardon. So McKenna goes short side, finds Castley. 11 of the line. Chance to shut it out here for the Rosellas. Single. Involved in that try from Jay Porter here. So Porter with the ball again, runs across field, trying to link up with some numbers, but they overran him. And he's wrapped up 10 metres out from the line, so they'll shape up for the left side. This time it's Deacon. Gives it on to Marn. Marn's wrapped up 5 outs the last now. So we've got Porter to the right, we've got Hendry to the left, they go to Porter's side, and it's going to be Holman up the guts, kicking a field goal. And that will just about do it, you would think, for Western Suburbs. Tim Holman right at the middle, kicks a field goal, and Western Suburbs extend their lead, 25-6.
Yeah, clever play. 19-point lead with 15 or 16 minutes to go. You've got to make them favourites from there, and that's very clever, pushing themselves 4 tries clear. I must say, the curiosities that you notice with these in-goal touch judges, I don't know if you saw this, Paul, but as the kick went over there from Holman, the in-goal touch judge gave the old AFL sign. Did you notice that? 2 fingers.
No, I didn't.
Sort of looks like one of the Wiggles.
That's brilliant.
Yeah, I don't know if that's standard, in-goal touch judge behaviour, but that's just one of the curiosities we've got to look forward to.
Well, we'll keep an eye out for that. Hopefully we might see one in first grade.
With any luck, good close game.
Here's Marr now taking it forward. Did you say that's an initiative? It's one of my favourite words in rugby.
An initiative, yeah, that's probably what it is.
McKenna. This looks like it's Cowsley with the ball. He's wrapped up. Here's Marn with another hit up. So fairly busy, the big front rower coming off the bench, Nick Marn. And they'll wind this clock down as much as they can, West. This is Farah. Tries to get out on the edge, but good tackle there from Harris.
He's another guy, Mark Farrow, who spent a bit of time in first grade. There's a lot of those in this West side when you go through that team. Guys like Holman, Porter, Dryden, Farah. There's a lot of first grade experience in the team. And it shows today because they've managed the game very well.
Here's Holman again. Throws it inside. Well picked up from Hendry. He's got space in front of him. A little kick over the top. Is it going to hold up for Thanua? Oh, just goes out the sideline. So we have a 20-metre restart. But some great play there and a great pickup from the fullback, Michael Hendry.
Well, the pickup was magnificent. I mean, the pass looked a bit dusty to me. I thought he might have made a bit of an error, but Hendry swooped and gathered it up and looked for all money like he was away there. The kick always looked like it had a little bit too much on it, though. So South escape, but they getting into miracle territory now.
There's Jacob Affleck taking it up to the 40-metre zone. Harris at dummy half. Good strong run there from Justin Affleck. Harris there at dummy half again. Gets over the 40, gets away from a couple of tackles. He's still going, he straightens up. Harris, he's almost through, but Davis was there to clean him up. He's got the pass away. They got numbers out here. Are they going to blow it?
No. Well, Paul, are they going to blow it? They've blown it all right. Dear, oh dear, oh dear.
Well,
I mean, it would have been easier not to score. It would have been easier to score than not.
It certainly was.
Goodness me.
They've just found a way there, Souths.
They've just had one of those days, haven't they?
Yeah.
Every time there's been a little glimmer for them, something's gone wrong. And, well, that was another example of it. They broke away there. They were up the field, looked for all money like they had to score. They managed to contrive 2 on none on that left-hand side. And then the pass went into touch.
Maybe it was the in-goal touch judge that spooked them.
Possibly.
I'm not used to seeing them down there.
Yeah, threw off the bearings. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, they're not having much of a day.
Here we go again. It looks like Geddes has taken that up.
Keep in mind, I mean, this South side won 11 of their 16 games this year and only lost 4. South, by all reports, had a fairly dusty start of the year. They only won 9, lost 7. I mean, it's not really premiership form, is it?
No.
But in these semi-final games, they've been really convincing.
Yeah, well, they defeated Lakes in the first week of the semis, and then West did likewise to defeat Lakes. So Both these teams have got the form coming into the finals. So West, they've got the experience. That's what's shown today as Holman. It looks like that one's going out in the full too.
Yeah, it certainly is.
Just when you give someone a rap, they do that. So
I'd love some stats, and maybe there's a David Middleton type out there who can help us out with this. But I would love to see how many times a team has kicked twice out on the full in a grand final and won. I'm suggesting it's very rare.
Very rare. Well, we'll see how we go. This is Will Davis. So can South get another try? Jaden Rosenberg takes it within 30. And we've got a knock on. So just nothing is going right for the Lions. It's one of those days. They'll come back and play next week. It might be a better chance, but full credit to West. They set the platform early in the first half, and they're just grinding Souths down out of the match now.
Yeah, that's pretty much right. I mean, they're just very professional. I mean, you can see a lot of the first grade side in them in the way that they play. The West first grade team are going to try and do the exact same thing to Macquarie this afternoon. Just bash away at them, grind away, find points when they get an opportunity. And this is a very typical West performance that we've seen a lot of in all grades across a lot of years.
Well, we're back to 13 on 13 now as Luke Pullman just comes back from his rest. That's Matoka is just wrapped up there and driven back to the 30. The sun is beaming out there now.
Beautiful day, isn't it?
It's a cracker of a day. If you're at home doing nothing, get to Hunter Stadium and watch some footy, some local footy. Got a chance if one of your teams winning here today. Come and support the Knights. You don't get too many victories.
Come on, that's a cheap shot.
There goes Deacon out the back to Holman. Looks for another runner, decides to take it himself. He's still going. There's a man down in back play. I think it is Deacon. Holman takes the tackle.
They're going to get a penalty here.
Must have been a late
think
shot.
for the late shot.
Yeah.
I wonder if he might call somebody out. We'll try and catch that replay, but he's in a bit of a bad way by the looks. Mick Deacon.
So there's just over 10 minutes to go in this reserve grade grand final. Here's the hit again. Oh, just in the back. Yep.
Yeah. I mean, it's almost, it's pretty late. Oh, it's just a push, really, isn't it? It's not, it looks late on the slow-mo, but it's not that.
It's just when you pass,
malicious,
when you pass, you relax a bit and you just cop it. It's
on the scale
not
of
nice.
On the scale of 0 to Adam Blair, it's not too bad.
So it's Jaden Rosberg that's got called out. Now he's walked away. So I think referee's just going to have a word to him, which he did, and just continue on, which is probably the right thing to do. The game's in the bag for West, so why waste any more time? So, in saying that, West have another chance to post points here. So Pullman will get us underway. This is Castley. This is Deacon, so he looks to have recovered. The sun is beaming out there now. It must be very hot out there for the players. McKenna to Porter. Short pass there to Farah, and Farah's got 3 men to wrap him up there in the end. So they got numbers to the left. They go that way now. It's LaRue back on the field for the Rosellas.
That's a galloping run with 10 minutes to go on a hot day.
Porter going the short side. Porter's looking for a hat-trick. Tries to get away. He does. Pops a pass to Clint Davis out there. He's wrapped up 5 out. Last tackle. Rosellas. Pullman's out here on the wing calling for the kick. Goes back to Porter now, and he'll do just that with a lovely cross kick. It's heading down to Jordan Hammond.
Oh, good
lovely take there from Jacob Affleck.
Yeah, marvellous take. He was he looked second favourite there as that went up. There were 2 West players coming through, and he did really well.
Good strong run there from Mitch Knowles. This is Harris. Dancing around, looks like he's playing at the dummy half position now last couple of minutes. Named in the squad because Chris Merlot was out. It's a big blow there for the South Newcastle side. So that's Watkins. Hammered. Absolutely hammered, and a great tackle there. It's LaRue out there again. Another good solid defence. The ball's popped out. And it's a Rosella ball. 25-6 here, the Rosellas over the Lions here in the reserve grade Newcastle Rugby League Grand Final. Hope you're enjoying the coverage. There's still plenty more rugby league to come. First grade kicking off, just a bit after 3. So McKenna goes the short side again. This is Farah. Rodimer goes around the legs, tries to pull him down. There's some help there. Porter. And plenty of touches in this as LaRue straightens up. Another good run from LaRue. It's the last tackle now for Wests. And McKenna goes himself. He's over. Well, they just opened up there. And West get their 5th try of the afternoon. And, well, if there was any hope that the Lions were going to get back, it's certainly been squashed there.
Yeah, I reckon that's about right. And, yeah, McKenna, I mean, he jumped out of dummy half there. He just did enough. He just took enough steps to make them just believe that he was going to throw it out the back and put the set play on. And as you see there on the replay, they were a little bit flat on the line. They were all starting to go the other way, and he beat them with the change of direction and got the ball down.
Yeah, that's fatigue, and knowing that the grand final's pretty much gone. But still a good try. He's had a good game, Liam McKenna, and finished the grand final with a try, and it looks like he's going to get a rest to finish this game.
Well, that's fair enough. He's been working hard.
Be Josh Gordon that'll come on and replace him in the number 20. So a very strong effort from the Western Suburbs. Rosellas here this afternoon in reserve grade. Jade Porter will be looking to put the icing on the cake. Disappointing day for Souths, but they did win the Ladies League tag 7-6 in extra time. So they've got 1 prize. 1 out of 2 ain't bad.
Yeah, that's right. It's not too bad. I mean, they've had a... You know what's really funny about this reserve grade side? You know, you look at West, and they're incredibly strong in first grade and reserve grade, but their 19 side finished second last and only won 3 games all year. It's funny how the sides focus on different areas of the division.
Porter strikes it nicely, makes no mistake again. So it's now 31-6. Western Suburbs Rosellas over South Newcastle. And a very good performance by that man who was just on screen, Jade Porter. Probably the best on field. As Souths just take their time with the restart here. So it'll be Josh Curry to get us back underway. Straight down the guts of the field. We'll take there from Gordon. Gives that to Fanau. So West will just wind the clock down here, you would think. Or have they got 1 more try in them? Good take there from LaRue. This is Castle. Oh, he's had the fumbles. He popped a few in the first half, and mustn't have that sticky stuff in his hands like some of the players wear. Here we go. This is LaRue again. Strong second half.
Still hitting hard late in the game, South. Still turning up.
Here we go with Hendry. Scored the opening try. Good game at fullback as well.
You knock on.
Yep. Just hesitated a little bit there, Josh Gordon. But he can be forgiven. They're well in front on the scoreboard with 4 to go.
Well, there's something a bit entertaining. The little in-goal touch judge got a touchdown there, got a handle on the ball. I mean, he's had a pretty lonely day. It's a rough old job. Because while the players in the middle of the park, they're kind of just idly loitering under the posts. So nice that he got a touch of the football. Part of the action.
It's part of the side. Part of the deal. You've got to have something to do on grand final day, if not just standing there pulling out weeds. It's Knowles. So can Souths get a consolation try here? It's number 15, Job Hull. Makes it within 25 of the West line. Harris waits for it at dummy half. This is Singh, Marshall Singh with the headgear. Harris again at dummy half. This is Rodimer with the ball. Runs across field, dummies the 2. Cuts back inside, and he's eventually wrapped up there by Farah. And I think it's Dryden also in that tackle. So Harris goes to short side. It's number 18, Tupou. Or is that Grace? I've got them mixed up the whole game, the 18 and 8. I think they've done a swap on us.
That'd be right. That's the sort of thing that they do. Football clubs and football players, they love to confuse commentators. So that wouldn't surprise me at all.
Is this Secret Service or whatever you like that the opposition are going to find out the team sheets? They're worried.
Yeah, look, that might be it. Ducks and Drakes, yeah. 3 minutes to go here. Yeah, West closing it out. I mean, they fully deserve this on today's form. I said a minute ago, you know, that they haven't had you don't look at their reserve grade spot on the ladder and think, geez, that's a side that's going to win the comp, win 9, lose 7. They turn the ball over, of course. But in the finals, they've been very convincing. They've had a lot of good players come back from first grade. They've got great depth. The West club in general hasn't had too many injuries this year, so that's made life a lot easier. They're coming into the grand final in both divisions, pretty full strength. And they deserve it. They've been the better team today by a good distance. They have had a bit of luck, I think, at just on half time at 18-0. If they'd have had that sin binning given, which I think was a pretty clear sin binning, that might have made a difference, might have given South a chance to chase. But as it is, you know, you've got to play the game you're actually playing, and West have played it very well.
I'm just waiting for Mark Farrow to get off the ground. He's up now, had a bit of cramp. It's 5 minutes to 3 here, so first grade may get underway a little bit late. Said we had extra time in Ladies League tag. Cessnock got up in under 19s, and it's going to be West here in reserve grade here in Newcastle Rugby League. Brought to you by Bar TV. Hope you're enjoying it.
It's always good for the competition and for Newcastle Rugby League. I think you see different teams turning up, and I think we've got maybe 5 or 6 different clubs here today represented in one of the grades. So that's good for the good for the competition, and shows that there is there's a lot of talent out there in all the grades.
The Souths with one last chance probably to get some points here in this second half. Grace pops it out the back. It's been picked up and fumbled again, and that man Jay Porter is there to pick it up. But we'll have another scrum. Just over 2 minutes remaining in this grand final.
Well, this is something to lift the supporters. I mean, it's well known, Paul, that you know, rugby league fans love a scrum. They love nothing more. And why wouldn't they? Well, so we'll get to see one more as the game starts to ebb away.
It gives you an opportunity to go to the bar and fill up before first grade.
Or that, yes.
So they go to the short side, Hull. And what do we got now? A penalty. Oh. Just a little bit extra of a break. Harris will get us underway. We go to Rodemar, to Singh. Short pass to Knowles, and he's going to stroll over underneath the posts. So he gets his second of the grand final. And, well, I don't know if we'll have time for a restart, but
it doesn't look like it. This is a very rare thing. If viewers are just tuning in, it's not. You wouldn't normally see the opposition celebrating a try. You know, you wouldn't see the West players celebrating a South try, but I think that'll be the last action of the game, and they've gone into full premiership celebration mode over there behind the post. But that play, I mean, that'll be very frustrating for the South's coach, I would think, because that's what they haven't done all day, is play nice, sharp set plays with people running really clear, hard lines. You know, they haven't done that sort of thing, and the first time really that they have, they've scored under the posts, but it's all a bit late.
Here it is here now on the replay. Just drawn pass.
That's a beautiful
just
ball.
A good little step inside there from Knowles. And look, you can forgive West too for slackening off here in the last moments of the game. They've got the grand final seal. It's in the bag. The goal was converted. So it's now 31-12, and there's no hope of coming back.
I reckon there's no hope. I tell you what, there is no hope of coming back. There's no hope of these West players coming back and kicking off. Let me tell you that. What have we got? 16 seconds left. Look at them. They're doing their best to kind of make it look like it. And Tom Taylor might force them to kick off, but geez, I'd be surprised. 9, 8, 7.
I reckon Jay Porter's odds on to check his shoelaces here. No, he won't even need to.
No bother.
So it's all over. West have won reserve grade 31 points to 12 over South Newcastle, dominating first half, and they continued on in the second half. A very good performance from the halfback, especially Jay Porter. He was probably the best on field.
Yep, I think that's right. Yeah, very good performance from West. Very professional, entirely in keeping with what we usually see from them. in these sort of games. They win grand finals very well. They keep their heads. Jade Porter's been in a lot of first-grade grand finals. He's steered sides around in big games plenty of times, and he did it really well today and found himself a couple of tries into the bargain. I don't think anybody, as much as there might have been a few, a bit of controversy here and there, I don't think anybody would say that West weren't deserving of the win today.
Well, that's about all we've got time for you here in the reserve grade, but stick around, go get yourself a cup of tea or a nice cold beverage and come back for first grade. We've got the big one coming up, Macquarie v Western Suburbs, but at the moment in reserve grade it's the Western Suburbs Rosellas 31-12 over South Newcastle. I'm Paul Arradale signing out, and thanks again Morgan Campbell for popping in.
Always a pleasure.